Good evening, everyone. I want to welcome you to the Kent City Council meeting for Tuesday, April 1st. Excuse me. Like to go ahead and start the meeting? Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the Kent City Council meeting for Tuesday, April 1st, 2025. If you could please all rise and join me in the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, Kim, could you call the roll, please?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Mayor Ralph.
Here.
Council President Kaur. Councilmember Boyce.
Here.
Councilmember Boyd.
Here.
Councilmember Fincher.
Here.
Councilmember Larmer.
Here.
Councilmember Michaud.
Here.
Councilmember Troutner.
Here.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Kim. Next item is the approval of the agenda. Are there any changes to the agenda?
None from staff, Your Honor.
Okay, a motion would be in order to approve the agenda as published.
So move.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. Agenda stands as published. Item number 4, we've got several items of public recognition this evening. The first one is our Employee of the Month. So each month here at the city, our employees get together to nominate one of their coworkers that exemplifies the mission, vision, values, and goals of the city. I am very pleased to announce that our April 2025 Employee of the Month is Officer Jacob Berry. Officer, yeah. I'm going to go ahead and read a little bit about Officer Berry, and then Chief and Officer Berry are making their way up. So it says, Jacob started working for the police department on April 2nd, 2018 as a police officer. He works to protect life and property, enforce laws and ordinances, and prevent and investigate crime. Jacob was nominated because he is a standout employee who is most deserving of this recognition. Officer Berry has always been a superb police officer, treating others with compassion and documenting his case reports with incredible detail. Since joining NRT, our neighborhood response team, Officer Berry has truly excelled and demonstrated what a true asset he is to the city of Kent. He hit the ground running, taking on some of the most problematic nuisance properties in the city. He made contact with property owners and other responsible parties and required action. He is firm but kind, offering to assist the owners or occupants in a variety of ways. Officer Berry is also persistent, which is critical in addressing nuisance properties. He kept the pressure on, ensuring compliance was achieved, and when he hit a roadblock, he never gave up. Officer Berry is excellent at thinking outside the box and is always eager to learn and do more. His energy and passion for his job is admirable. In addition to the work he's put into some of Kent's most challenging nuisance properties, Officer Berry is also a team player when it comes to community events. He is kind and engaging, putting anyone he encounters at ease. He is also passionate about physical fitness and organized an event at a local CrossFit gym dubbed Badges and Barbells. Jacob has literally been the face of the city franchise for multiple critical public safety high visibility projects. Several times throughout the year, Officer Berry has been the only officer in NRT. Not only does this create a large workload for him, it also forces Officer Berry to think in creative ways to safely investigate crime and accomplish the goals by himself. One might think that an officer who has routinely been carrying well over his share for work would be disgruntled, but not Jacob. He is the epitome of hard work, a great coworker, and friendly. We're very fortunate to have him representing the police department and the city. And I want to add in, I have seen Officer Berry present to school-age children all the way up through senior citizens, and he does it with such care and compassion. It's pretty amazing. So I am really, really proud to say that he is our April 25 Employee of the Month.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. That was a very good summary of capabilities of Officer Berry and why he is well deserving of this award. What I would add to that is he's just a great human being. When I think about Officer Berry, he gives me inspiration and hope for what the future of our profession and the future of our department holds. Someday I won't be the chief of police, and I know the future is very bright because we have officers like Officer Berry. And you guys know we have a department filled of great officers, and he stands right at the top. A true litmus test for me is like, who would I want showing up for my family on their worst day? And this is the guy. This is the person you want, and it doesn't matter what the issue is. He is kind of like the Swiss Army knife. He can do it all, and he can do it all very well. So I am very proud of the work that he does. I'm very thankful, and I'm just really glad he's part of the KPD family. So congratulations.
Thank you. Is the family here?
Oh, yes. Do you want to introduce your family, Jacob?
Yeah, I have my beautiful wife, Corey,
Where, Corey? Can't see her.
my daughter, Ellie, and my son, Elijah, are here tonight.
Nice. Congratulations.
Real quick. Hey, congratulations on your 7-year anniversary, right? 7 years.
7 years today, yes.
Yes. Awesome.
It is.
Yeah.
Look at you paying attention. I love that.
Hey.
All right. The next item on our agenda is a proclamation for Arbor Day. And if I could have Jillian Lawrence and Margaret Wagner join us up here at the podium. We're going to go ahead and read the proclamation, and then we'll do a picture and have you say a few words. So it says, whereas Arbor Day was established in 1872, which is an annual observance that celebrates the importance of trees and encourages tree planting and care. And whereas the city of Kent understood early on that trees not only enhance our environment and contribute to the aesthetic charm of our city, but also serve as a catalyst for economic prosperity and community cohesion. By championing their preservation, we reaffirm our commitment to fostering a sustainable and vibrant future for Kent. And whereas the City of Kent established a tree ordinance in 1971, alongside specialized tree maintenance crews in Parks and Public Works, this proactive measure not only ensures the preservation and regulation of street trees within our thoroughfares, but also natural areas and parks, and underscores our dedication to fostering a greener, more sustainable cityscape. And whereas trees stand as silent guardians, purifying our air, enriching biodiversity, providing much-needed tree canopy for shade, and helping mitigate other impacts of climate change, their presence not only enhances the beauty of our landscapes, but also sustains the delicate balance of Kent's ecosystems, ensuring a more resilient community for all. Whereas in recognition of its commitment to trees and the environment, the City of Kent was named Tree City USA by National Arbor Foundation in 2003 and every year thereafter, making this Kent's 23rd anniversary as a tree city. And whereas the City of Kent continues to engage with the community through annual volunteer events that beautify and conserve valuable trees and natural areas and parks. Now, therefore, I, Dana Ralph, Mayor of Kent, do hereby proclaim April 5th as Arbor Day in the City of Kent, Washington, and I encourage all residents to consider planting or caring for a tree on their property, to take the moment to enjoy trees in our local parks, and to appreciate the beautiful green open spaces and forests that we enjoy here in the Northwest. So I'm going to come down and we'll do a quick picture, and then I'll turn it over to you to say a few words. It's good to see you. Right over here in the middle. Oh, we've got a tree though. We should take a picture with the tree. Thank you so much.
This Saturday, we are going to be down at Three Friends Fishing Hole. We're going to be planting this lovely western hemlock plus 8 other trees, including a very large Douglas fir tree. We'll be tackling some invasive blackberry and spreading some mulch to help the trees that are already there. It's going to be a great time, and we're supposed to have really good weather, last I checked. So come on down, help plant a tree, and help beautify our parks.
All right. Thank you so much.
The tree don't stay? All right.
All right, our next proclamation is for Vaisakhi and Khalsa Day. I'm going to go ahead and read the proclamation, then I actually have a statement from Council President Kaur, who could not be here with us this evening, and then we'll go ahead and call everybody up, do a picture, and have you say a few words. So the proclamation says, whereas Vaisakhi is one of the most significant celebrations in the Sikh calendar, marking both the Harvest Festival and the establishment of the Khalsa in 1699 by Guru Gobind Singh Ji, a pivotal moment in Sikh history that symbolizes sovereignty, justice, and devotion. Whereas the creation of the Khalsa represents a commitment to truth, equality, and the protection of the vulnerable, embodying values that transcend time and inspire individuals to uphold justice and dignity for all. Whereas Vaisakhi is a day of reflection for Sikhs worldwide, serving as an opportunity to recommit to the principles of Sikhism, including selflessness, courage, and community service, while celebrating the vibrant heritage and contributions of Sikh communities. Whereas this day also highlights the importance of unity and resilience, reminding us of the sacrifices made by Sikh leaders and communities throughout history to protect their faith and identity. Whereas this important occasion in Sikh history celebrates and fosters understanding and respect for diverse cultures. And whereas let this proclamation serve as a reminder of the enduring spirit of Vaisakhi and the Khalsa's commitment to justice. Now therefore I, Dana Ralph, Mayor of Kent, do hereby proclaim April 13th to be Vaisakhi and Khalsa Day in Kent, Washington, and call upon our residents to join in celebrating Vaisakhi by learning about its rich traditions and participation in community events that honor its spirit of unity and service. I'm going to go ahead and read a statement from Council President. So it says, thank you so much. As we celebrate Vaisakhi, I want to take a moment to recognize the significance of this joyous occasion of our Sikh community and beyond. Vaisakhi is a time of renewal, gratitude, and unity, a celebration of harvest, faith, and the founding of the Khalsa. It reminds us of the values of equality, service, and resilience that strengthen our community every day. While I am away on leave to welcome a new addition to my family, I want to express my heartfelt appreciation to our Sikh community who continue to contribute to our community. May this Vaisakhi bring you prosperity, happiness, and peace. Wishing you all a joyous and blessed Vaisakhi. And that's from Council President Kaur.
You want to stand for the picture? Stay here. I'll shift this way. You okay, Tony? We're good. We're good. I think we're good. Well, I'm sorry.
Everybody in there?
We can't see Tony. Can you? Come over here, Tony. Tony, come over here, please.
I've got a pathway right here.
All right, come down. Come down. All right, here we go.
Okay.
Okay. You?
Hello. So I wanted to start off by saying thank you so much to Mayor Dana Ralph and the entire Kent City Council for having us here today. We appreciate the council and the mayor's office for making this proclamation for the Sikh community. Sikhs have been an integral part of the Kent community for over 40 years. And Vaisakhi correlates, as has been said, with the Harvest Festival and also the founding day of the Sikh identity and the Khalsa identity. The community would like to express thanks for being recognized by the city as integral members of the Kent community. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, council member. Thank you, mayor, for having us here. And it means a lot to recognize such a diverse city and the home we call. Everyone who came from India first landed in Kent. And this beautiful city provided us a home. So Kent was the first land for all the immigrants who came in 1980s. And we came here for equality and justice and live our American dream. We are here to serve this beautiful country and be the part of the community. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sat Shri Akal. sorry, one more thing. We are having a Vaisakhi celebration on May 17th in Showware Center. So you all are invited, and we will send an email.
Thank you.
And all the residents, please come and celebrate and enjoy the food and all the festives.
I think one of the largest celebrations anywhere around. Thank you. All right, we're going to move on the agenda to community events. Councilmember Boyce.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I want to talk about some upcoming events we have at Accesso Showwear Center. As you all know, the Seattle Thunderbird is currently in the playoff. I think it's the series tied 1-1.
And they're playing.
And they're playing right now, so don't leave just yet, okay? And then Game 4 will be on Friday night. So they really need our rah-rah to help them get going. May 8th, we got the Cookie Hookie. This is a fundraiser for a community event. Will be hosted from 11 a.m. till 2 p.m. on May 8th. This community event fund is dedicated to making recreation, sport, and cultural experience accessible to everyone in the greater Kent area. The admission will be $15, suggested per attendee $15, and it will be paid to the Cookie Hookies. And all the information can be found on the Accesso Showwear Center. On May 10th, we have the Sunday Shuhan, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, live concert on May 10th. May 31st is the Kent International Festival. This has been going on for quite some time in Kent. Always a fun event to go to on a Saturday. June 7th, Paul Fest. July 15th, Baby Metal. July 17th is Cody, Jinx, Hippie, and the Cowboys Tour. Are you going to that?
I am.
I thought so. All right. And then September 26th, we had the OV Worship Night. So that's all at Accesso Showwear. But it would be nice if all you guys show up on Friday and cheer those Thunderbirds on, okay? So thank you. That's all I have, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember Michaud.
Thank you so much, Madam Mayor. As we heard earlier, there is a Green Kent Conservation event on Arbor Day, which is April 5th. But then there is also another event for Earth Day on April 19th at Clark Lake Park. And you can just search Green Kent for the dates and times.
All right. Councilmember Fincher.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Next week, the week of the 7th, you have the chance to put up to 10 bags or containers of trash out. So it's a good time to do that spring cleaning, get everything out, trash and yard waste. And then on the 11th, there is a mini recycling event. So what didn't go in those first two, your chance to do the recycling also. And then a save the date, Wednesday, June 4th, Wednesday, June 4th, starting at 6:30 there at Centennial Center. We will have our summer art exhibit. So it's free, and it's actually 6 o'clock, 6 to 7:30. Great art will be on display. It's free right there in the gallery. Come on down.
Thank you. Okay, we are going to move on to item number 5 on our agenda, which is reports. So each one of the council members that sits up here serves not only on the city council and the meetings that are regularly scheduled during the month, but they're also members of regional or statewide committees to make sure that Kent is being represented in those conversations, whether it be larger policy conversations or funding conversations. If you were listening to the Committee of the Whole meeting, you heard several numbers referenced about the amount of grant money that the City of Kent receives. Really grateful for the active participation of the entire council in those meetings. I'm going to start out with my report. I've got a couple of things that have happened in the last 2 weeks that are worth noting. Week ago Thursday, I attended the first King County Transit Safety Roundtable. So this was a meeting of Metro transit operators, King County electeds, public safety representatives, and really a focus on what do we do to improve the safety of public transportation in King County. We had the tragic death of the Metro bus driver here several months ago, and I think it really highlighted the fact that for a variety of reasons, public transportation is not as safe as anybody would like it. I was encouraged by the conversations that were had. There was a consensus in the room that there are things that need to change, and everything from policy to adding additional security and sheriff's deputies to both transit stops and ridership. You may have seen the announcement this week that Metro will be beginning fare enforcement again on routes. So there's a variety of things in the works, and I really do think there were several hundred people at this meeting, and it was a good showing of that all facets of public transportation system are really invested in making sure that it's safe. So wanted to highlight that. Couple of shout outs. Want to say thank you to Miss Galvin's class at Canyon Ridge Middle School. They had me up to speak about civics. They are studying everything about government. The students 6th through 8th grade had amazing questions, and I was really proud of the work that they're doing, and was an honor to get to spend some time with them. I also want to say congratulations to Plaza Luna. It is a new market that has opened up over on Washington and Meeker, and it's a collaboration of multiple small businesses, mostly small businesses, folks that are from Mexico, so selling goods that are from Mexico, Honduras, El Salvador, both goods, clothing, food. It was a great celebration. I want to encourage everybody to stop by and check it out. They are open Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Finally, I want to say a huge thank you to all of you that were able to attend the State of the City address a couple of weeks ago. We had a full house getting to celebrate all of the amazing things that the city, this council, the work that we've all been doing over the past year, and really talk about what's on deck for 2025. So again, I want to say thank you to everybody that was able to attend or watch it on YouTube and Facebook. So it was a fun event, and I'm always really proud to be able to talk about our city. With that, I'm going to turn it over to our Chief Administrative Officer, Pat Fitzpatrick.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm going to make it easy on everybody tonight. I'm going to rely on my report, which is in the council packet.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Boyce.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Once again, the State of the City, you did a phenomenal job, and I can tell you there's nobody more passionate and love this city more than you. So we really appreciate you and all the good things you do for this city. With that said, we had our operation meeting. Each one of the council members are going to be doing some report out around the ops meeting that had something on the agenda tonight. For our workshop, we had 2 items on the workshop. One was the ADA transition plan, was the American Disability Act. So any public entities with 50-plus employees have to follow this transition plan. So really, it's all about making things more accessible, you know, where you talk about from a curb appeal, sidewalk, drivewalk, pedestrians. So we do have a plan where they're going to do an inventory on what need to be done, and then also for the next step, they'll be reaching out to you as the public to get comments, response for the comments, and they'll come back to committee as a whole, and then eventually we'll have a resolution probably put in place sometime around June 17th. But all new type of a building of a road or sidewalk that's going in place today is to take that under consideration. So they're looking at the older stuff and they're looking at ways to transition that into make it more accessible for ADA. We also talked about Meet Me on Meeker. I don't know if you had a chance to go Meet Me on Meeker, but really a lot of good things that the city is doing to really make that a friendly place, a walkable place. You know, they took the par 3 golf course and turned it into some nice apartments. The driving range has been redone. The golf course be redone. And if you've been on Keith Road, they're also in the process of putting together a roundabout, which is beginning to be a popular thing. So a lot of good things going on in the city. And Meet Me on Meeker, if you haven't had a chance to go down there and spend some time, please do. So that's it for the council. As far as I represent the council on the PIC committee, which is part of SCA, which is a public issue committee, we haven't met since our last meeting, so we'll be meeting a week from tomorrow. And I just wanted to, one of the big things we'll be talking about again is the parks levy. And I know we talked about that before, council member, and I think I got your thumbs up to take full speed ahead, right? So I will be representing you at that meeting on the night, and I will keep you posted. With that said, I'm going to start to my left with Councilmember Troutner, and she's going to show what's been going on with her. Please.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chair. I am Chair of the Puget Sound Regional Fire Authority Governance Board, and at our meeting on March 19th, we had a promotion for one of our engineers. We also had a really cool display of thank you cards. Students from California sent a collection of cards to be displayed and given to our firefighters that were deployed during the wildfires. So really proud of the work that our firefighters did and representing our region down in California. On Saturday, May 17th, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., we have our annual Teddy Bear Clinic. So if you have never been, it is a really fun event. You can bring your favorite teddy bear or stuffed animal, and you can get a checkup on it. So we have firefighters that are there that will bandage them up, that will check their heartbeats and their pulse, and give out a good report. Also, the first 400 kids that come to the event get a free teddy bear. So really super fun. It is at Station 74 on 116th. I am also on the Regional Transit Committee, and we approved our work plan for 2025. As you heard the mayor mention, they are doing fare enforcement. That started yesterday, and they are doing a phased approach. So drivers are currently just asking riders to show proof of payment for their bus ride. Also, starting on May 31st, they will fully resume the fare inspections, and riders could be fined for not paying a fare. In our council newsletter that comes out tomorrow, there is a link that has more information on fare education if you would like to check that out. And that is all I have today. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Troutner. Councilman Michelle.
Thank you. Yes, earlier today we had our committee of the whole meeting, and I serve as the Parks subject matter chair. And council approved 4 items. First was our Greater Kent Historical Society lease and operating agreement, and then we approved a Cezanne Energy contract, which was paid for by a grant completely, and we approved that grant as well. And then we got more money for the Kent Parks cultural programs from For Culture in the amount of $216,000. So good news for parks. And then I also serve as the Human Services Commission Council Liaison. And during our last meeting, we had an in-depth small group discussions regarding the biennial human services funding allocation process. And we talked about the challenges and improvements. And this is an ongoing process that the Human Services Commission goes through in order to make our grant process more equitable. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilman Michelle. Councilman Larmer.
Thank you. So I serve as the subject matter chair for economic and community development, and we did not have any agenda items in Cal today. And then on the regional level, I serve on the King County Aging and Disabilities Advisory Council, and we will not be meeting until April 11th, so I do not have a report tonight. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councilman Boyd.
Yes. Thank you, Council President. I sit on the Local Hazardous Waste Management Program, and as an MCC member, the Managerial Coordinator Committee, representing Sound City Association. We talked about the overall position of the Hazardous Waste Management Program, and right now we're in good financial health as the revenues came in for 2024. They were higher than what was budgeted for. Also, we talked about the expenses that were lower due to salary savings from vacant positions. In 2026 and 2027, we had the biennial budget proposal that is being developed. This memo will provide an overall view of the final proposal, which will be brought to the MCC in May for a vote. Also, the Hazardous Waste Management Program runs on a biennium budget, except for 2025, which was a one-year transitional budget. The proposed budget is currently being developed and will be brought to the MCC for, once again, like I said, a May vote. There was a one-time cost that is included replacing the moderate risk waste collection database and our aging equipment for blood level testing. Aging hazardous material storage lockers were also replaced, and the aging laboratory equipment was a one-time cost, which included technical expertise and research support. Also, The hazardous waste staff are presenting an extended producer responsibility for household hazardous waste at an upcoming state and national conference, conducting consumer and community research on the collection, services, and facilities, developing a facility agreement, and performing the study of economic and impacts of fossil management. The government relations team also convened for the first time a tribal grant work group meeting this year. Okay, looking forward to the MCC, we have an upcoming meeting April the 15th, which will be an in-person meeting for the first time of this year. And all members will be there to talk about our interests so far as our 26, 27 budget. And our briefings will be all around and concerning our Q1 finances. And that's the end of my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Bowe. Appreciate it. Councilmember Fincher.
Thank you, Council President. I am serving on the Mental Illness and Drug Dependency Advisory Committee. We had a very good presentation. There was a study presented. The study was by B. Heard, King County, and UW. They did a study into substance use disorder. And they looked at that and they had some interesting facts. There's more information in my report, but I'm going to say things now like I was surprised to find out that because of the opioids, they take much longer for someone to come clean off of than, say, alcohol or some of the other drugs. So much more difficult, much more addictive. We also had a report on, we're working on the rates now. So that's it for mid. KCD, King Conservation District, meets next week. Arts Commission, again, be sure to save the date, June 4th. We had Public Works, the two roundabouts coming down Reef Road should be open by June, say probably mid-June at the latest. And then prepare yourself. The bridge deck, the road that you drive on over the Meeker Street Bridge, that is going to be repaired this summer. It won't be closed the full time like before. They will be working on it just on weekends, but still you're going to want to prepare alternate routes. That is it for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Fincher. As you can see, as a council member, we meet the first and third Tuesday every month, but all of us is out there busy, 6 days a week. The mayor, 7 days a week, but 6 days a week, we out there representing you, making sure that we're fighting for you at the table. So I want to say thanks to all you council members for all you do, and you continue to do. Thank you. Madam Mayor.
All right, thank you very much. Moving on, item number 6 is a public hearing. We do not have one this evening, so that brings us to item number 7, which is public comment. Public comment period is your opportunity to speak to the council and mayor on issues that relate to the city of Kent or agenda items the council will consider. This is not an open public forum, and comments that do not relate to the business of the city of Kent are not permitted. Additionally, the state of Washington strictly prohibits people from using this public comment opportunity for political campaign purposes, including to support or oppose a ballot measure or a candidate seeking public office. Speakers cannot give political campaign speeches and must instead speak concerning the matter of the City Council's agenda or matters concerning the general business of the City of Kent. Furthermore, in providing public comment, speakers may address the mayor and council as a whole. Remarks intended to target an individual on the dais are not permitted. Finally, please note that this public comment opportunity is for you to provide information to the mayor and city council that you would like for us to consider, but we will not be able to answer questions during the meeting itself. Our clerk will announce each speaker. You do have 3 minutes to speak. There will be a timer up on the screen. And I do ask that you state your name and city of residence for the record before you begin your comments. Kim, do we have any written comments this evening?
Yes, Mayor, I received 4 separate emails containing written comments, and I provided all of those to the council members before the meeting.
Thank you. A motion would be in order to admit those into the record.
So move.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Those comments have been placed in the record. Kim, will you call our first speakers?
Thank you, Mayor. Most of the people are speaking on the same topic. I have just one that is speaking on a different topic, so I'm going to call them out of order. Amase Jake, you are first up. and Pat Crockett is going to follow, followed by Moon Chan.
Good evening again, Madam Mayor and council members. My name is Amasai Cheke, and I live here in the city of Kent, and I also work in the city. I'm here representing Utopia Washington, a queer and trans Pacific Islander-led organization based here in your beautiful city. And I'm also here as a proud community member and advocate for LGBTQI rights and safety. And I'm speaking tonight to really re-urge or really call your support for the resolution that we've been calling that needs your recognition to protect LGBTQI people that live, work, and contribute to the beautiful city of Kent. For many of us, Kent is a place where many of us have built lives, families, and futures. And like all residents, LGBTQI people deserve to live safe, seen, and supported. Not in just words, but in policy and practice. At a time when LGBTQI communities across the country are facing rising threats, cities like Kent have the opportunity over the years and the responsibility to lead with compassion and courage. And I really also want to take a moment to sincerely thank Council Member Lorimer and Fincher for their visible solidarity and your support. It really means a great deal to communities, and it also sets a powerful example of the leadership rooted in equity really looks like. And we've also heard that some of the hesitation amongst council members may not come from the opposition to the trans community, but rather from concerns that a strong public stance can throw negative attention from the current federal administration and potentially impact federal funding for transportation and infrastructure. While we understand the complexities we are navigating, we want to emphasize that this moment calls for courageous leadership. And our communities are watching, and many of us are directly impacted by the decisions made here. And we are encouraged to hear that council members are working to explore language that can bring us closer together to really work on this resolution together. And we are not here to create division, but we are here to build bridges, and we're ready to work with council and the mayor's office and to find language that reflects both the values of the city and the importance of safety, dignity, and protection for LGBTQI people. This resolution is more than symbolic. It sends a clear message to LGBTQI youth, workers, elders, and families that can seize them and values them.
I need to wrap up. Sorry, we're at the end of the 3 minutes.
So we ask that the City Council members and the Mayor's office to really look at the resolution. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Pat Crockett, followed by Moon Chan.
Good evening. Good evening. My name is Pat Crockett. I'm happy to be here. I'm a property owner. I don't live in Kent. I live in Seattle, about 11 miles north, and I come to Kent several times a month, maybe more than once a week. I have the property at the corner of First Avenue North and Meeker Street. It's across from a bank on the Meeker Street side and across from Kibera Park. I am speaking in favor of the stay out of drugs area, please. In the last few years, since 2019, I have seen more and more people just wandering around and sleeping in our alcoves under the cover at night. I come around, I'm a hands-on property owner. I come around and I pick up trash, and I find lots of little pieces of aluminum foil, and I think that they are from fentanyl, drugs, little fires. We have, my job is to create a space that my tenants can do a good business in. And it isn't always very easy. Recently, I've had lots of break-ins. It cost me thousands of dollars to get all these glass doors and glass windows replaced. Really is thousands. And we have lots of graffiti, which I try to get taken care of rather soon. So I think it's due to all the people just wandering or staying in our area with no particular purpose. I'm sorry for them, but it's not good business. It's not good for Kent. Some of my tenants say they have trouble having foot traffic around. As a matter of fact, I turned my car out, I moved my car out of our perfectly nice empty parking lot in back around to the Meeker Street side next to a row of cars, because in the last few weeks, I've had a break-in at one of the cars right there on First Avenue. So please do take care of all of us, not just the poor drug people. They need to get out of there because that's not a place to be. So please do have a vote yes on the stay out of drug area, please.
Next speaker is Moon Chan, followed by Kathleen Kesterson.
Hello, my name is Moon Chan. I currently live in Newcastle, but I live in Kent off and on. I'm one of the property owners on First Avenue. It used to be Sparrows Greek Island Grill, then Game Castle, now is Page Turner Books. I'm up here speaking in favor of the SODO initiative, mainly to help out my business tenants that are really struggling to keep their business afloat. Majority of the feedback I hear is there's a lot of homelessness issues, and there's been a lot of active or more recent ODs in the past 6 months. For example, one day in the morning I was coming to visit Wayne, and he said, "Hey, Moon, look outside right next to the park." And I looked, and there was 2 homeless people laying down, and he said, "Don't worry, I already called the paramedics." So the paramedics was on the way. That was one day. A week later, there was same area, there was another OD. A month later, I was walking on First Avenue. I just noticed there was just a few people that were just smoking, lighting something up on aluminum foil in plain public. Then there was another occurrence where we were gonna go to Wild Wheat as a family with my wife and 2 kids, and we walked through that strip, that park. And as we're walking, there was more people just doing drugs. And that's the last time that I took my family to downtown Kent for a meal. That's one side of the story. The other experience I want to share is there was a few investors and myself that was interested in buying a building on Meeker Street that's up for sale. We did our due diligence. The numbers look good. We did our due diligence, and part of that was we want to measure the street traffic. And throughout the different times of the month, morning, afternoon, and nighttime, we drove it. And the thing that really killed the deal for some of the investors, they did not feel comfortable with all the homeless issues and the drug activity just happening in plain sight. So that's why I'm up here to share with you my experience and my vote for passing this stay out of drug area. So.
Next speaker is Kathleen Kesterson, followed by Tammy Jackson-Cloy.
Hello, my name's Kathleen Kesterson, and my husband and I have lived in Kent and raised our family here for 32 years. I'm a retired social worker. I have a lot of empathy for the homeless, mentally ill, people recovering from substance abuse addictions. 1 year ago today, our daughter, Raman, bought Maggie's on Meeker. We're in a real quandary because we like to donate to charities that help homeless. We want to see them well taken care of. It's very difficult to keep our business going because of the amount of homeless who come in and disrupt the business. Part of our staff's training now is how to de-escalate people on drugs, how to de-escalate people who come in and raise their fist. We have a family diner. It's open 7 days a week, breakfast and lunch. Mostly our client population are in their 70s and 80s. We do have young families as well coming in. The challenge that we have is with the mentally ill, the homeless, the drug addicted, they often come in with no money and refuse to leave. That would not be so much of a problem. We know they need to warm up. The problem is they're starting to respond to internal stimuli, and they start cussing and going over to tables and trying to get food off people's plates. And I've seen one morning when I was there, a gentleman who comes every week and says he has a meeting with a police officer in 15 minutes, which never happens. He raised his fist to my daughter. And, you know, how do you deal with that while you're trying to serve food, while you're trying to keep people from living in fear? People with young families, when children start crying because somebody in the room is cussing and screaming and talking about Lucifer, they don't come back. It's very hard to draw new people into old downtown. A number of our friends from other walks of life say, oh, we don't go past the library. We can't come that way. We'd love to support you, but that is too rough down there. And we have drug paraphernalia on the front, on the back. Most mornings when we come in, our building owner has fenced off the area to keep people from sleeping under the eaves. We have stuff stolen all the time when homeless come in and refuse to leave. And we understand the police have to respond to higher priority calls. So they come when they can, but it's not, you know, as often as the number of people who are homeless who come in and won't leave. Also, I'm part of a veterans group where we raise money to buy sweats for our veterans in indigent veteran state homes. And so we have aprons for sale in the front of the restaurant, and homeless often come in and pull aprons off the rack and just leave. And it's, you know, the businesses are the taxpayers who support helping these people. But if our businesses go under because of the amount of homeless issues, there won't be a tax base to help them. So I'm in favor of the SODA ordinance. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Tammy Jackson Cloy, followed by Monica Mendoza Cathon.
Hi, my name is Tammy Jackson Cloy. I am a homeowner here in Kent. I've been here on East Hill for 30 years. So I've saw the changing landscape in Kent for 30 years. And I saw the SODA stay out of drug addicted areas. So if you stay out of the drug addicted areas, where do they go? And I've been to Maggie's and ate, and I've been to several different places to eat, and I've encountered the drug addicted people, and I had family to come to Kent and come and ask me where they could go and work on things, and I sent them to the area, to the library to go work on something. And I said, well, go down to the library. And they said, well, you sent me to the homeless. But where do we send them? So what do we do about the people that are mentally challenged or on drugs? Where do we send them? What do we do to help them? So send them where? Stay out of the drug addictive areas. Where do we send them? So it's not rocket science. Yes, we need to do something with them. So the government, we're the government. We have churches, We have people that want to help them. So we need to come up with something besides stay out of the area. Stay out of drug addictive areas. What do we do with them? So that means there need to be a collaboration. So we need to sit down together and do something. So that means the churches maybe need to get together. I've always believed that the churches need to step up instead of it always being on the government to take care of these people that are homeless or hungry or it shouldn't always be on the government. The Bible says that we take care of the people that are poor and indigent. I believe that this is the church's job, and then maybe the government helped out the churches. So why doesn't the government help out the churches? And instead of just, so vote no on soda, and let's sit down and come up with a plan. Because what do we do with the people that are drug addicted and mentally ill? Just, okay, Maggie's is a great place. So let's have someone in these areas let's do something besides send them away. And there are people here that want to do something with those people. I'm a homeowner. I don't like seeing those people. Let's do something, Kent. Let's do something. Thank you.
The next speaker is Monica Mendoza Cathon, followed by Gayla Haas.
I would ask if you would please not applaud so we can continue to call speakers up.
Good evening, council members, mayor. Good evening, everyone. My name is Monica Mendoza Cathon, and I am a proud homeowner here in Kent, family who grew up here in Kent. I'm also a legal professional, a Juris Doctor graduate, and I am urging the council to please vote no on soda zones because we need long-term solutions to these problems, not short-term responses. Soda zones are not an effective tool to reduce overdoses, do not do anything in the long run to help people get healthy or housed. If we create a soda zone, this will likely result in more homelessness, more addiction, more arrests, and not a break from the rotating system that people find themselves in. It will not reduce recidivism. There are so many studies that show that implementing soda zones are not the solution. A study from 2009, one of countless that are out there, one from Oxford University Press concluded as such that these zones are counterproductive, with researchers demonstrating that they merely give the appearance of law enforcement and public officials helping out. In fact, these zones are expensive and do not reduce crime and underlying conditions that put people in these dire situations in the first place. We need compassion. We need, as Tammy mentioned, to work together on solutions that work on the long run. Instead, the council should implement proven tools like co-responder models, increasing access to Narcan, opioid use disorder medications, improving even better on the drug court system that exists here, creating a really comprehensive community court, and increasing shelter and housing first and foremost. We cannot create the war on poverty here in Kent. We cannot create the war on drugs. I do not want my taxpayer dollars here used for issues like these. I want there to be smart and compassionate policy. Therefore, please vote no on soda zones. Thank you.
Next speaker is Gayla Haas, followed by Cliff Cathon.
Good evening. I am Gayla Haas. I'm the Executive Director for the Kent Downtown Partnership. I'm here most days of the week. I reside in the city of North Bend. I am here on behalf of the Kent Downtown Partnership Board of Directors to express our support for the Stay Out of Drug Ordinance as a necessary step to address the ongoing public safety
and drug-related issues in Kent. As someone who's actively engaged with our local businesses on a daily basis, our community, our business, our property owners are at their wits' end with the ongoing activities that are surrounding their businesses and properties. I've been here for 6 years. The situation is not getting any better. In fact, it is much worse, and it continues to worsen. So while I understand the complexities and the initiatives that some have opposed to this, I am strongly believing that something needs to change. Status quo is not working. The businesses and people within the downtown community, what I hear on a regular basis is their customers, their employees, the business owners are feeling unsafe. They have repeated incidents of theft and vandalism, and the near constant presence of individuals engaging in illegal drug use right outside their doors. I've seen it myself in the alleyway next to my business. I literally look out my window and see people unrolling their foil and using their drugs. I have seen overdoses increasing in the last months. I hadn't ever actually seen that, witnessed that, until this past few months. So it is getting worse. I constantly see the alleyway outside my office, people slumped over in public spaces, and increasingly seeing emergency services attending to those overdoses. This is a devastating impact to our community. These drug-related issues, it's clear that stronger action is needed to restore the safety and vibrancy of our city and discourage the activities around these drug use do discourage people from coming into Kent. So I also think that there needs to be a broader strategy, including stronger partnerships with social services and treatment programs, support of the local businesses affected by these issues, the crime and public safety, increased law presence and enforcement. And on behalf of the Kent Downtown Partnership, I thank you for your time and your consideration in this, and would like to see support of this program.
Next speaker is Cliff Cathon, followed by Randall Smith.
Hey, so my name's Cliff Cawthon. Many of you know that. I'm a homeowner here and community member. And governance isn't easy. There are no easy solutions to drug addiction, violence, poverty, or the like. Sorry, I know I have a finite amount of time up here, but I find it surreal that we are actually having a conversation where some community members or people who just have an investment in the community are actively arguing to ban the most vulnerable people out on our streets right now from areas where we have libraries, where we have transit. We can literally connect people with those same services in order to get them to make their lives better. It's surreal to me. Stay out of drug areas are just ineffective and cruel. That has been proven time and time again. They don't reduce overdoses, they don't prevent them, they don't address crime, violence, or other social ills. All they do is they erase something that people don't like to see: poverty and people in crisis. And an out of sight and out of mind approach may be okay with some people. But for me as a homeowner, as a taxpayer, and as someone who has worked on issues around housing, has worked on issues around drug addiction, has worked on every single issue in the book, that I know there are multiple methods to reduce deaths, to reduce overdoses, to help people actually live and thrive. My wife already named some of them. Some of the other ones are navigation centers, having outreach workers, actually really building on a program that I believe Councilmember Fincher piloted, which would allow there to be people who actually do outreach, working with police and going out there so there's not a carceral face or a not carceral presence to actually approach some of these folks who are fearful of police and fearful of abrasive institutions like that. Housing first policies, or a rapid rehousing and acquisition pilot program, or just funding nonprofits, many of them who have representatives in the House tonight that already do that work and are facing savage cuts from federal funding sources as well as cuts on the state level. There are plenty of solutions, but this ain't it. This ain't it, and these zones will literally exclude people from where they can get help. It's cruel, it's ineffective, and more importantly, you can't talk about community. You can't talk about a welcoming city if you approve this and you support this. Furthermore, as a taxpayer, tangentially related, but I just want to say, honestly, Mayor, I was really ashamed of your remarks the other day on the proposed progressive state revenue packages. Those funds, as well as investment, instead of exclusionary policies and just simply allowing big business to run amok and to do what they want, that's what's going to improve our communities. Thank you.
The next speaker is Randall Smith, followed by...
Hold your applause so that we can get through the speakers. Everyone deserves a right to speak.
So Randall Smith is next, followed by Lakeisha Smith.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, City Council members. We've raised our family here in Kent, and we live in Kent. We've been here almost 40 years. I can't say that this proposal is the best, but we have to do something to keep people safe downtown. Our businesses are hurting down here. We have a business down here, and we built our building almost 20 years ago. And I have never seen so many homeless people here, and the drugs, and we clean up down here. I think there can be a meeting of all of this together. It doesn't have to be one or the other, but tonight I guess we have to say something. I would like to see some zones, some areas. I'm tired of seeing the people laying on the street. I've got so many videos. I do want to thank our police department for responding so fast when we have made calls lately. They have been there. There's just, I don't have the answer other than we need to keep and work together as a city. We always have, and we've got so much better under our current leadership. I want to see us sit down at a table, have those conversations, and figure out what to do. Right now, if we don't pass this, we're still, we have that issue. I want my children to be able to go to the park. I want to walk to Maggie's. I want to be able to do things downtown. That's why we're here. That's why we have our business here. We could move anywhere. And I know it's not going to make everyone happy if I say I'm voting for it or go the other way, but right now, I need safety for my family. I don't want to see people take it another way to solve the homeless problem, and it could happen in a dangerous way. So what I'm asking is that this passes and we work together. We put it maybe on a trial basis and see how that works. But the judges also need another tool. They need to be able to do something. I'm not advocating getting rid of everyone downtown, but I'm advocating safety. That's what I want to see. And if it takes all of us coming together and having those hard conversations, that's what we do. And right now, we've got to clean up First Avenue. We've got to clean up Meeker Street. We've got to keep the alleys clean. I'm here in the morning sometimes at 5 o'clock. I'm here tonight. I'm here sometimes at midnight. And I see what goes on. And if we cannot make something to give the police officers more tools, I don't know the answer. I don't. But right now, we're in trouble. And it takes everyone here. And we have to not go against our leadership, but work with them, work with the officers. And we'll find that solution. So for right now, I'm saying yes to Soto.
Next speaker is Lakeisha Smith, followed by Amanda Kerstetter.
Good evening, council members, mayor, everyone. So I am a resident of Kent. I Actually, I'm a returning resident. I left some years ago, and now I'm returning, and I'm not seeing the same Kent. I left as in my early days, in my early 20s, and was very proud of where I came from. I always would say, man, I'm from Washington, I'm from Kent, and would brag about it, feel boastful about it. But since I've moved here, and I've brought my family, who are teenage girls, I don't know what to tell them. We moved from a place where you saw and felt poverty. You felt drug addiction, and you did feel unsafe. And there were initiatives to take for those people, social services for those people, partnerships with businesses to have a special number to call to help these folks who are in need, because that's exactly what they are. They need something to do, somewhere to go, some assistance in some way. I do agree with what a lot have said prior to me coming up to the stand. Business owners, as a business owner myself, I really do understand where you're coming from. I do. But at the same time, I don't feel that soda would be the best option, because as people have said before, where do they go? What services do they get? Do they just get thrown into jail? Do they just go into a prison? What is the due process after that? What do we do for rehabilitation? Because in the end, they probably are citizens here, or they could be put back as taxpayers into the city. What are we going to do to help that? I particularly would like to be able to boast about being from Kent, to boast that I'm a Washingtonian, to those who aren't here, where I moved to Florida. Let me just put it that way. I moved to Florida, okay. So I would like to continue to brag and say, we are the best when it comes to helping others, to embracing everyone, to say, we're a community. Let's all be together. Let's all rally to make things better, not just, oh, we're going to push them away. Let's hide them somewhere, and then we'll figure out what to do with them later. I really would not like to see that. So I do believe that it should be no on the SODA Act. And that's it. Thank you.
Next speaker is Amanda Kerstetter, followed by Shalisha Hudson.
Good evening, City Council, Mayor Ralph. Thank you for having me here today. My name is Amanda Kerstetter. I'm a lifelong resident of South King County, current resident of the City of Kent. I live just a few blocks from here, so I understand a lot of the concerns that many have shared. I'm also a mother of 2 Kent School District students, young kids, and I am a service provider who works with those who live unsheltered and have substance use issues. And I am here with great concern about the proposed soda ordinance within our cities. The City of Kent has already adopted ordinances that allow for the arrest and prosecution of people who are publicly using drugs. The addition of a soda zone merely punishes people for existing in a particular area, not for their behaviors. Implementation of soda orders is not a solution to the state that we are currently in. Rather, it simply disperses these issues into other areas, often further away from support services, and often into our communities where our residents are living. The current proposed soda zones encompass almost every single available service option that people may choose to seek care from. Implementing soda zones in these areas will prevent people from accessing those services. Incarceration and forced treatments do not have a high rate of success for long-term recovery. In fact, both actually do increase the risk that someone will suffer a fatal overdose once they return to the community. Research has shown that medications for opiate use disorder are the gold standard for working with people who have an opiate use disorder. Methadone, in particular, is the #1 treatment for people who are struggling with opiate use disorder. The City of Kent only has 1 methadone clinic with very limited dosing hours. I would ask that we have more access to the evidence-based treatments that we know work. Overdose negatively impacts all members of our community. It is costly, it is traumatic. Overdose is also completely preventable and recovery is possible, but soda zones and incarceration do not help. I would ask Council to consider investing in more evidence-based treatment models, both substance use, mental health, along with increasing access to affordable housing. I would also ask that we invest more in programs for our youth as a model of prevention so that they are not also falling into this. Thank you.
Shalaisha Hudson, followed by Sammy Hobain.
Good evening, council members and fellow residents. My name is Shalisha. I'm here representing Healings of Hearts Ministry, but more than that, I'm here as someone who has lived the very struggle that you guys are trying to push out of Kent. I was once unhoused, addicted to drugs, and living in a tent. I know what it's like to feel invisible, like a problem that society just wants to remove rather than a person who needs help. And I know firsthand that policies like this don't change or solve the issue of addiction. They make it worse by pushing people further into the shadows, farther from resources, farther from hope. At Healings of Hearts Ministry, we don't turn our backs on these people. We rally around them. The same people you're trying to push out, we welcome them in. Every week, we show up with open arms, offering food, support, and most importantly, love. We meet them where they're at, not with judgment, but with compassion. We walk alongside them, constantly building trust, showing them that someone still believes in them. And because of that trust, we're able to help them take real steps toward healing. We offer to get them into detox. We remind them that their life still has value and that they're not forgotten. We actually got 4 people into detox last 2 weeks. Maybe instead of passing the ordinance from the comfort of these chambers, I invite and encourage all you guys to come out, step out of your bubble, and come out on a Saturday. Walk among the people that you're trying to legislate away. Talk to them, listen to them. Understand that they're not just problems to be pushed aside, they're human beings. What you are doing with this ordinance is not fixing the problem, it's just moving it out of sight as if it makes it go away. But addiction doesn't work that way. Pushing people to another area further from services and support doesn't make them recover, it makes them suffer. It makes them feel even more hopeless, and for many, that hopelessness is what kills them. These are not just statistics, they are people. Anyone out there on the streets could be one of your family members. Addiction doesn't discriminate, it doesn't care about wealth, race, or backgrounds. Would you be so cold to your own son or daughter? Would you want to cast them aside, treat it like an inconvenience instead of a person in pain? Because the truth is, every person out there is someone's daughter and son. They're God's children. When I was living on the streets, it wasn't the police that saved me. It wasn't the people who called for me to be pushed out their neighborhoods. It was the churches. It was the people who looked into my eyes and saw a person worth saving. They made me feel like I mattered, and because of that love, I found the strength to get sober. What you're proposing will not solve anything. It will only force people further into places where they will eventually die alone. And I know that because I have seen it. It'll cut them off from the help that they desperately need. If you truly care about solving the problem of addiction, invest in real solutions. Treatment, housing, outreach programs that actually work. I urge you to vote no on this initiative. Let's choose compassion over punishment. Let's work together to bring real change and not push the problem somewhere else. I'm very involved with Pure Kent, and Pure Kent is one of the main hubs for the homeless community out here, and they have wraparound services. And that area is an area I believe you guys are trying to zone as the SODO zone, so I say you guys vote no.
The next speaker is Sammy Hobain, followed by Alyssa Moore.
Hi, thank you for the opportunity of speaking today. I want to start off by saying I'm going to speak about my experience in this community. I'm in full support of all the services that we offer here, but SODA is something that we would love to see passed based on our experience in business here. I'm in support of that in the aspect as well that these people are still able to access their services by appointment. And I'm in full support of that. I would love to see these people get the help that they truly deserve. But I've spent nearly a decade here working at More Than Rocks on West Meeker Street and being a part of this community. As that time has passed, I've watched a vast amount of change transpire for the worse. The safety of our business, our families, our children, and our community continue to be jeopardized. Our time here is short, so let me paint a quick picture for you, highlighting the urgency and necessity of this. And I recognize that this is not a long-term solution. This is not black and white. This is not that easy, but right now we need services and help now. When you run a small business, you become a jack of all trades. But I am not trained as a security guard or dealing with the drug crisis. I am not trained in cleaning up hazardous material, but when it's a hazard to our community and a hazard to our livelihood, I glove up and I do what I have to do, but I shouldn't have to. I shouldn't have to call someone so they know I'm safe while I'm waking up the person passed out in front of our door, blocking my entrance with paraphernalia scattered about. I shouldn't have to be in fear. I shouldn't have to clean up the burnt foil, pipes, needles, and biohazard they leave behind after I finally get them to leave. Through much love, let me tell you, we are not harsh. I shouldn't have to apologize to our customers when they hear me stand my ground while I'm escorting the same inebriated person out that I kicked out today, yesterday, and the day before. We've been broken into, stolen from, screamed at, harassed. I've been spat at and on and physically assaulted. This is not a sometimes issue. This is every single day. We are on guard at all times because we never know what's walking through our door. While we do have compassion for all those struggling and want them to get the help that they truly need, this erodes any sense of safety that we have. It impacts our business and our ability to support our families. People don't want to come here. They do not feel safe. And without their support, we won't have a business to come to anymore or a community to continue to thrive. We want to see that happen. We want to see the community thrive. This is not about criminalizing addiction. It's about reclaiming our neighborhood and restoring order. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
The next speaker is Alyssa Moore, followed by Sarah Andrews.
Hello, thank you, Council, Mayor. My name is Alyssa Moore. Your mission states that the City of Kent is committed to building a safe, thriving, sustainable, and inclusive community. I own More Than Rocks. Sammy and I did not write our things together, but we seem to mirror a lot of what we have to say. I've been on Meeker Street for 11 years, and we support our community in many ways. Sadly, our community is lacking. It's unable to love us back. Our community is not thriving, and it is not safe. In the past 4 years, we have had countless addicts shooting up in front of and behind our shop. It's difficult to get into, open up, get out of. I can paint you a picture of what some of our daily, occurrences are that we have to deal with. I arrived at the shop. I have someone out front who's unresponsive, typically covered in feces or vomit, or both. Our first concern is if they're alive. We have so much compassion. We have watched so many people be able to evolve and get through the struggles that they have. It's really hard to be up here because I am understand on both sides. I have so much empathy. But when I'm finding this, and we do allow them to, get up, we wake them up, they're out of there, we're left behind with paraphernalia, foil, needles, soiled clothes, underwear. It's unsanitary. We don't have the proper ways to clean up this hazardous material. I employ teenagers who they too shouldn't have to be able to be responsible for this. Countless occasions we have had all sorts of addicts come into the shop. We definitely are very empathetic and we offer our help. We want to be there. We want our community to be there. But when they can't stand upright, they're not coherent, we have patrons in the store who are afraid, we have to be able to put the safety first and take care of people who feel that they're in danger. So many of these situations have ended in assault on my own children in the store, my employees, and Good Samaritans. People tell me that they drive by and if there's a parking space available, it's meant to be. And it's their lucky day. Otherwise, they choose not to come in. They do not want to walk in fear for their safety. They would like to walk around and explore our community and be part of what other businesses there are to be able to support, but they're unsafe. They don't feel comfortable walking. This is not the intent of an inclusive downtown. Our businesses are hurting. Our community is hurting. I sympathize with our community. We struggle with mental health, those without homes. I support the resources that we offer. As far as I understand, SOTA still allowed resources to be available, that we're not pushing everyone out. I hope I think SOTA is a step in the right direction. It's not the perfect answer. I would like to all be able to come together.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Sarah Andrews, followed by Komopreet Kaur.
Good evening, council members and Mayor Ralph. My name is Sarah Andrews. I reside in Tacoma, Washington, and I work here in Kent. I am the program director of a peer support organization serving individuals in Kent facing mental health challenges, substance use, and housing instability. I'm asking you tonight to please hold off on the proposed SOTA ordinance because this isn't a solution. It's another way to harm people who are already suffering. Let's call this what it is, the Make Suffering Invisible ordinance, because it doesn't impact someone using drugs behind closed doors. It targets the person who is unhoused, visible, and living their pain in public. This isn't about healing or safety. It's about pushing visible pain out of sight so the rest of us don't have to be uncomfortable. It punishes people for being poor, not for having access to treatment, housing, or support. In King County, 94% of people jailed repeatedly have behavioral health conditions. They are not criminals, they're community members in pain. And ordinances like this don't heal. They harm and drive people further from services. In Auburn, similar zones have already led people to avoid areas where help exists out of fear of being arrested just for trying to survive. And it's expensive. Costs over $60,000 a year to jail someone experiencing homelessness. Permanent supportive housing with services cost half that and reduces jail time by 40%, ER visits by 24%, and hospital stays by 29%. And when we invest in recovery, the return is real. Every $1 in peer recovery support returns $2.13 in community benefit. I work alongside people every day who were once unhoused, addicted to substances, and now mentor others, work full-time, and give back to this community. But recovery takes more than sobriety. It takes housing, healthcare, community, and access to opportunity. People need more than a roof. They need something to live for. Cities like Houston and Salt Lake City at one point reduced homelessness by 60% by leading with housing and support, not criminalization. If this ordinance doesn't help the people who are suffering the most, then what are we really doing? And we all want the same thing here. We want a healthy, thriving Kent. But how we get there, we need to be creative and work together on that. So please, hold off. Let's lead with humanity, not harm. Thank you.
Next speaker is Komopreet Kaur, followed by TJ Peterson.
Hello, council, mayor, community. I've been hearing a lot tonight in the statements around safety, wanting to be safe. What I'm often hearing is that safety is being put against each other, that we cannot all be safe at the same time. And I deeply do not believe that is true. In thinking about SOTA and pushing people out of our communities, that doesn't change what folks are going through. It does not change the harm that they're experiencing. And solutions that could support both are having services that support cleaning up in the morning, daily services that support businesses, regular support lines for businesses, and also having those same services not connected to the police for our community members experiencing homelessness or community members experiencing substance use. When we are moving towards policing and continuing to harm our communities, we're only creating a cycle where folks are going to continue to experience addiction, are going to experience the carceral system, and may end up incarcerated for long periods of time. And what we're seeing in our current moment is the increasing of criminalizing our communities on a federal level, at a state level, and now the city wants to continue that on a local level. It's deeply disappointing, and it is scary to think about how the city of Kent has not come to a decision regarding a resolution that is about protecting and supporting our communities, our LGBTQIA communities, but are so quick to push this ordinance, not even a resolution, an ordinance forward that would criminalize and continue to criminalize, because Kent already does that, right? With the public use orders, with other forms of stay out areas, such as with prostitution, right? Criminalizing sex work, and with racing. What is Kent wanting for our communities? I have been here all my life. My family has been here all of our life. I'm a member of the Sikh community, and I'm really sad that at the same time as our resolution, celebrating justice, sovereignty, protecting the vulnerable, that this is going to be on the record at the same time. When we could be actually engaging with solutions. We have folks in our communities. I also do mental health care work. I have my whole life. There are many folks in this room and many folks who are not here because they're dissatisfied with how the council has continued to move with policing first policies, saying that the police are an access point, the judges, the court is the access point to services. That's in reverse. That doesn't work. When you have to go through the carceral system to access resources, there's an inherent lack of trust there because you've already been harmed. Vote no on SOTA. I don't think you will. I think you will pass it tonight, and that's really unfortunate. But vote no and support the resolution that Utopia is speaking about.
Last speaker is TJ Peterson.
Thank you, Kim. We love the city clerk, mayor, council president, council members. Talk about some things here. I love seeing my neighbors out here participating. This is a beautiful thing. Democracy is awesome. Our values, integrity, do the right thing, caring, care for those we serve, communication, connect to understand. Communication is big. Did anybody hear about this before the committee of the whole vote? Before it was voted unanimously for the consent calendar? Communications. Teamwork, working together. I've had a lot of people come up here, offering a lot of solutions. I've seen throughout the years people trying to work as a team to make things work. The churches used to be involved. They fatigued out. Union Gospel Mission. We took the Resource Center. There's been many people throughout the years trying to provide services, a place for people to be. There's a team that seems to be against that in Kent. Innovation, find a way. The police seems to be the number one thing. We've tried that over and over again, and it just hasn't worked, and they're fresh out of ideas. I get that. Achievement, be the difference. Back this up again here. I'm trying to get this right. Our goals are a thriving city. I've heard my business owners, neighbors who really come to Kent. A lot of them don't live here, but you know, it's important that they survive too and thrive. An evolving infrastructure. Auburn has a permanent supportive housing. Auburn has a day center. Auburn has embedded outreach. An inclusive community. You know, some people might be more inclusive than others we've seen throughout the years. Sustainable services, innovative government. I'm looking for the innovation. Our mission, the City of Kent, is committed to building a safe, thriving, sustainable, and inclusive community. I'm looking, I don't see any asterisks, I don't see any exceptions, I don't see any in-group, out-group. Who's the in-group that we're talking about? It's almost like there's a good guys, bad guys thing going on here, that some people need to feel powerful if they have somebody they can point to as the bad guys. And then they'll say, we're the ones that can solve this. I've heard this before. Bless you all. As somebody with some lived experience on this, been here 40 years, I lived 20 years on the streets. 12 years I did not sleep indoors once. I know how this stuff kind of should work, and I know who the good guys and the bad guys are. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Mayor, that was the last public speaker.
All right, thank you, Kim. All right, that ends our public comment this evening. Thank you, everyone, for coming out. Our next item on the agenda is consent calendar. We have consent items A through K. Is there a motion?
Yes, Madam Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent calendar, item A through K.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Next item is other business. We have none this evening. Item number 10 is bids. We've got one bid this evening, and that's a 2025 Asphalt Grinding Award. And joining us this evening is Chad Beeren, our Public Works Director. Oh, hang on one second. Councilmember Fincher.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just wanted to take this opportunity, I know it's not usual, but to address some of the comments, because some of the information out there is not correct as to, and I know some people, I did hear the correct information from some, but the SODA Act does not bar people from the services area. One, doesn't kick in until they've already gone through the judicial system, and the judge can allow them to still come to dinner at Holy Spirit, at Kent Lutheran, go to services at Pierre Kent or at Catholic Community Services. So that's not going to stop them. People are not going to be locked up for getting on or off the bus, which I read in one of my emails. As someone who works at one of the downtown businesses, I can personally speak to the tens of thousands of dollars that it can cost a business or more in damage, in cleanup, and just in what goes on there. And again, a lot of the people aren't trained for it. We do have a co-responder model. Is the SODA Act the answer to everything? It's not a this or that. It's one more tool. We do need housing because you're right, it does not address the core causes. But it's another tool, and the tool I want is to get them in front of our judges in the community court. I've gone down and observed the court, and I've seen people who have actually been helped. Now, of course, you don't get help until you're ready to be helped, but it's the chance for some. So I think that it's important that they have that option. It definitely does not address all of the issues. It's not going to address trauma. It's not going to address job loss. It's not going to address housing, but that's why we have other programs. Do I support adding additional funding to other programs? If we had it, I sure do, because we do need more services in Kent. Luckily, we have other services in our surrounding cities that we can also call on. But this is one more tool that we have, not only to help the businesses, but also to help some of the people who are substance use abusers. So I just wanted to say that. Oh, and one more thing. Ours is not exactly the same as Auburn. We have very distinct areas carved out. We didn't do a large swath. So ours is not the same as Auburn's law, but thank you.
All right. Chad, let's try this again. We have a bid this evening, 2025 asphalt grinding.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This is where we hire a grinder, an asphalt grinder to go through ahead of our operations crews on a number of roads throughout the city. They'll grind the pavement down, and then we come back through with our crews and our small paver and do an inlay, grinded inlay. So we had two bids this year. The low bid was from Statewide Paving Lot Services at $96,950, which is under the engineer's estimate of $161,000, and we recommend award.
All right, thank you. Any questions for Chad? All right, seeing none, a motion would be in order.
Second.
I move that we approve,
There you go.
I move that we award the 2025 asphalt grinding project to Statewide Parking Lot Service Incorporated in the amount of $96,950. Authorize the mayor to sign all necessary documents subject to final term and conditions acceptable to the city attorney and public works.
All right, we've got a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. That brings us to item number 11, which is executive session. We do not have one this evening, so we are at item number 12. That is adjournment. I want to say thank you to everyone for joining us, and this meeting is adjourned.